this is Grian's base. And this is it being exploded, along with the rest of my hardcore work. But if I want to prevent this from happening, we have to go back exactly 1 week. Yo, what's up, bro?
Do you know who Grian is?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, well, you have 7 days to build his base.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, and if you don't, your entire hardcore world is gonna explode.
Huh? Do you even have the power to do that?
Yep, I also have a challenge for you to complete while you build it, but I'll call you in a bit to tell you about it.
Hold on. Alright, while we wait, I might as well dig out some area to build this basin. So I think right here is a perfect area for it. And after digging out this entire area, I have a ton of grass left over from this mountain, which I'm now going to use to start building all of the terrain for the surrounding area of the mansion. Alright, so now we have the main terrain completed. That's going to be in front of the castle, and the castle will be right here. The sides, let's just say, are a work in progress for now. But now I want to actually start getting some of the structure down for the actual mansion. And for this build, we're going to need a ton of terracotta, specifically cyan terracotta. And we're going to need about 16,000 of it, which is almost 10 shulker boxes full. So I'm going to quickly repair my pickaxe and then make our way over to the mesa biome. And apparently I'm going to need haste. Ah, yes, this is much better. Alright, I guess we're just gonna fill up 10 shulker boxes with this stuff. Alright, we have all the shulker boxes full of terracotta now. Perfect. And now we have to start converting all of this normal terracotta into cyan terracotta. And to make cyan dye, you need blue and green dye. And luckily, from last episode, we built this blue dye farm right here. Yes, here we go. Okay, I think this is plenty. Next up, we're gonna need green dye, and I don't think this cactus farm is gonna cut it. Yeah, this definitely won't cut it. So I think the only option is to build a massive cactus farm. I think we can wedge it in right here. So let's set up the beacon. Alright, there we go. Now let's just dig out a good chunk of this mountain. Alright, now this area is finally dug out, and that took a lot longer than I hoped, but at least it's over. And my next plan of action is to make the collection system that all the cactus is gonna go into. So I'm gonna start by making the glass base, and then I got a call from my good friend Illusions. Okay, can you explain to me why
Alright, Grass, here's your task.
Okay.
You need to place 1,000 different buttons.
Why? That doesn't help me at all.
I don't know, Grian likes pushing buttons, so I thought it was fun.
Okay, I guess that's a good reason.
Okay, bud. Chop chop time's ticking.
Okay, I guess I'll place and press 1,000 buttons later. Alright, perfect. I think this looks really cool with all these other massive farms, and it's just a huge, like, water flow. And I think it's gonna look even cooler when we start adding the cactus, which, speaking of, I'm gonna start adding now. Alright, now that we have the whole thing built up, we just have to add all the cactus, which you can see I already started. But that's all I have, so I'm gonna have to wait until this makes more. It already made me 5, which I'm gonna go add to it right now. And while I wait, I might as well head over to the desert so I can start collecting some cactus on my own. Now I'm just gonna wait for these to grow up, so I'll have enough to finish this layer. And now that the farm is fully loaded up with cactus and making us a ton of cactus, actually cacti, I was able to craft all of it into cyan terracotta. But before we continue, I'm gonna get the first challenge out of the way by placing 1,000 buttons. And luckily I have a ton of stone left over, so I can use all of this to craft them. And this should be exactly 1,000 buttons according to my calculations. I'm gonna find an open field to place these, maybe like right here is a perfect area. Alright, and now I guess I'm just gonna place 1,000 buttons. Okay, now that I've placed all of them, I need to go around and press every single one of them.
I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through.
And with these final buttons, we have completed all 1,000 of them. Alright, let me give Illusions a call. Okay, Illusions, I pressed 1,000 different buttons. Are you happy?
Meh.
What do you mean, meh?
Well, you know, that's just the first of 5 challenges, right?
What? I didn't know there was a whole list of them.
Oh, well, yeah. And for your second one, you'll have to break a redstone contraption in true Grian style.
Okay, but can you at least tell me how many tasks there are? Are we serious right now? Well, I guess I can get back to building the mansion then. And the next major block that we're gonna need is gray wool. And luckily, we already have a sheep farm built from last episode. But in order to turn these sheep into gray sheep instead of orange sheep, we're gonna need gray dye. And I would just go around, kill a few squids, and get some black dye to make gray dye, but we're gonna need a ton of black dye for the dark prismarine. So I mean, I might as well make a squid farm now. So let me just quickly gather the materials, which is pretty simple. But this farm has to be placed in a very specific area. And that area is supposed to be in a smaller kind of river area. Alright, this looks like a pretty good area. And now we have to find a 13 by 13 area that is in the river biome, which right here is perfect for. And I purposefully picked a small river, and you'll see why in just a second. But first, let me build up the farm. So squids will spawn in this water, and then they're gonna go down to the magma where they're gonna meet their demise. And then when they die, all of their ink sacs are gonna be collected down in this little area that I built. Because this minecart goes around and collects all the items on top of the magma, and it'll put them in here. We already have a little bit of ink sacs. Let's go. But in order to make this, son of a bitch. But in order to make this max production speeds, we're gonna need to get rid of all this river because we want these squids spawning in this water and not this water. So by using this mod, I can just press H and it will show me all the area that mobs will spawn in when I'm standing in this area right here. And this will show me exactly what water needs to be drained, so all of the spawns will be happening in the farm and not in the river. Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks from last episode. But luckily, that means I already have all of the sponge that we're gonna need. And with a little bit of sand from our sand duper, I can now start draining the river. Please don't take forever. And after draining the river and the surrounding caves, I did a little bit of AFKing so we can get the ink sacs that we need. Alright, it's been maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see how much ink sacs we got. Oh my gosh, I was actually not expecting that much. Oh my, that's way more than I think we're ever gonna need, and they keep coming. Yeah, this thing is actually insane. Oh my gosh. And now when we pair that with white bone meal, we can make our gray dye, which means that now we can start changing all of these sheep colors to gray. So I just finished changing the first layer to all gray wool, and then I came down here to see how much gray wool we would have, but then I realized the entire storage is filled with the orange wool. So I'm gonna expand the storage system even more. And now with the mega expansion complete, we can start filling them into shulker boxes. And now we finally have all of the shulker boxes full of gray wool that we need. But before we can start building, there's just a few more blocks that we need to get, with one of them being 6 shulker boxes of stone, which we actually have a ton of right here, so we can check that off the list. We're next gonna need 4 shulker boxes of stone bricks, which we can craft with the stone that we already have. Next, we're gonna need another 4 shulker boxes, but of gray concrete powder. And luckily, I have a machine built just for this, the gravity block duper. This thing has came in so handy. And the final block I'm gonna collect before I start building is andesite, more specifically 6 shulker boxes. So I'm just gonna head to the mines and get to work. And while I was mining, are we serious right now? But grinding 4 back wasn't that bad. And with my pickaxe back, I think it's time that we start building the actual mansion. We will need more blocks in the future, but I think this is a good start for now. So I'm just gonna place as many blocks as I can before the end of the day. And as the day comes to a close, we only have 6 more days to finish the build. And I think we got a lot of progress done. We got a ton of the mountains done. We got some of the walls done. We had the little staircase outlined. And I think this is a very promising start to the build. Alright, to start today off, I need to break a redstone contraption. Which one that is gonna be, I don't know. All right, here we have the furnace smelter, the cactus farm, the sugarcane farm, this farm. And I really do need all of these farms. Ooh, I could do the slime farm, but I don't know. I might need slimes. I know it's a small farm, but this is a really useful farm. Yeah, I guess I'll just break this one. Buy snow golem, you can be free. Just break this, that, and I would say that's pretty broken. But to make sure I can no longer use this, I brought some backup weapons. Let's just scatter this around a little bit. Okay, I hope this doesn't go to my sugarcane farm. Let's just do it. Oh, this was a bad idea. This was a terrible idea. Please, please, please. Oh no. Oh no. It broke up. All the rails too. Okay, I blew up my slime farm. Are you happy, Illusions?
No.
What do you mean no? I did exactly what you asked.
Well, it wasn't cool enough. It's gotta be bigger. Do it, the fans want to see it.
Okay, fine. Like what? How about this flower farm?
Okay, do that.
Okay, get ready. Boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah, sure, bud. This is gonna have to be good enough.
Good. I wasn't blowing up another farm.
Well, this is the 3rd out of 5 challenges. Actually, the opposite of what Grian would do. I want you to finish the back of the base.
No, I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that.
Nope, you got some work to do. So if I were you, I'd stop messing around.
You told me to... This guy cannot be serious. Alright, so while we work on task number 3, we also have to work on the actual base itself. And there's one block that we're missing that we're gonna need more than any other block that we have here, and that is dark Prismarine. Luckily, in the last episode, we built the fastest Guardian farm in the game, so luckily that won't be an issue, because we also built the ink sac farm in this video, so we should be able to get a lot of it. And we are specifically gonna be needing almost 12 shulker boxes full of them. Oh my gosh. So to make dark Prismarine, we need 8 Prismarine shards and 1 ink sac per one, which in my opinion is kind of insane. But luckily, hopefully, we should have a lot. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of them. Oh yeah, we are not running out of these anytime soon. Even though I have all the Prismarine does not mean I have all of the ink sacs. And I will definitely need to upgrade the storage. Alright, I think this should be enough. And now we just need to wait. Yeah, I should have done this overnight. And no, the sky is not edited. This is really how long I AFK'd for. Really bad move. That ate up way too much of my day, but let's see how many ink sacs we got. See? Oh my gosh. 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, they just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 6 full double chests of ink sacs. Let's go. I need to go grab some shulker boxes so I can carry all these first, though. Alright, so now that I have all the Prismarine shards, or I hope I have all the Prismarine shards, and all of the ink sacs, I'm now going to combine them to get all of the dark Prismarine that we're going to need. And after what felt like forever crafting dark Prismarine, I think I have enough of it. So now I'm going to continue placing as many blocks on the build as I possibly can. Unfortunately, AFKing at the squid farm was a terrible idea, because this time lapse brings us into the next day and we are really far behind. Alright, so we got a decent amount of progress done, mainly with the Prismarine blocks. I'm actually really happy with how much I was able to get placed, except around these edges, I need anvils, and I need a lot of them. To be more specific, I need 381 of them. Oh my gosh. And I'm hoping that in our iron farm, we have enough for all of that. Alright, I guess let's just get to crafting. Oh yeah, we had plenty of iron. We still have a ton left over if we need it. And the next block that I'm gonna need a lot of is black concrete. And luckily, we already have a little bit of it. So if I just throw it into the duper, I should have plenty of it. There we go. And next up, I have to find some clay blocks. Let me just see in the river. Oh, I think these are some. Yeah, this is exactly what I need. And I'm gonna need about 6 stacks of these. Next up, I'm gonna need half a shulker box of light gray concrete. So let's just get the concrete powder and put it in the duper like usual. Ah, yes, light gray concrete. I also need 5 stacks of light gray wool, which should be pretty easy. And with our ink sacs and bones from our bone farm, we can make light gray dye, which we can then put with some of our wool. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of it. And now we can get even more work done on the base. I think all of this progress on the base is really making up for all of the wasted time yesterday that we were at the squid farm. Alright, I think I got a lot of work done, and I think it's coming together very well, except I'm still missing a few blocks that I need. First up, I need a ton of spruce. Alright, this should be plenty, but now I need to head to the nether so I can get a ton of quartz for the build. And while I'm here, I might as well gather the bone blocks that we're gonna need. And we're still gonna need a little bit more resources, but for now, I think this will do. So I'm just gonna get back to work. Even though there wasn't a lot of content this day, it was probably the day I got the most progress done. Alright, so honestly, after that, a lot of the base is pretty close to done. There's just a few more details that need to be added. And the main ones are the roofs for a lot of these upper parts and the windows. We're gonna worry about the back in a little bit. But first and foremost, I'm gonna need a lot of dark oak. And I mean a lot of it. So, I mean, let's just get to work. Alright, I think this is enough for now. But the next item that I'm gonna need a lot of is glass. And we don't have that much sand, so it's time to go over to the sand duper. Alright, this should be plenty. Alright, so now we just throw all of the sand into the super smelter and make it all into glass. And with all of it now turned into glass, we need to turn it into light gray stained glass. And luckily, we have some leftover ink sacs from before. And if we combine that with some of our bones, we don't have that much. We're gonna have to AFK. And this is really all we needed. We did not need that much glass. But now that the glass and dark oak are out of the way, we can put them on the base and finally finish the front of it. And now with all of the windows and the edges of the roofs done, there's just a couple more details we have to add. The first one is adding campfires to these little areas to make smoke come out of them. So I need to quickly go make 12 campfires, and then let's just throw these in the little smokestacks. We're also gonna need hay bales to make the smoke go even higher. Alright, so let's just throw these in. I think that adds a lot of life and movement to the build, and I think it looks really cool. But there's still one more detail to the front that I have to add. And trust me, it's gonna make it look 10 times cooler. There we go. Can you tell what it is? I'll tell you in 3, 2, 1, it's the water. Not gonna lie, I thought it would look a lot cooler, and eventually the waters on the sides will flow into the river, but we'll have to do that later. Before we do the terrain, there's something more important, which is the back of the base. And it's not as detailed as the front is, but I think it'll still look a lot better, and I think it won't take as long because there's not as much detail. So I guess let's just grind out the back of the base now. And after grinding out the back of the base, it took me into the 5th day, and I think we're doing pretty good on progress. And after all that work, the back is looking pretty nice. There is still a little bit of issue with terraforming down below, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm hoping Illusions will let me slide with that, but just for now though. But there's one more thing in the back that we're missing, and that's the glass in this center little dome area. So we're gonna need 1/3 of a shulker box worth of gray stained glass. And luckily we have a ton of glass left over. And what is this? Oh, I updated to 1.21.10, so all the dyes look different now. But we should have resources to make 1 line of gray stained glass. All right, perfect. All right, so let's go put this on the base. All right, I think that looks pretty good. There's just 2 more things we're missing. One of them being some leaves, and the second one being a G. I'm sure Grian intended this to stand for green, but I'm gonna make it stand for grass. And it's perfect. And now that the main part of the base and the back of the base is complete, I think we should call Illusions. Let's give him a ring. Okay, Illusions, I think you're gonna be really happy with what I did.
Wait, what was your task again?
The back of the base?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Remember you told me it was on like green? Never mind. Here it is.
What's up with the holes?
I'm gonna get terraforming in there. I just need a little more time.
Okay, I'll let it slide for now just because I forgot about the task. But you better have it done.
Yep, I will.
Well, your next challenge is to create a dance party room and fill it with parrots, just like Grian likes to do.
Okay, this challenge actually sounds fun. Thank you, Illusions.
Don't thank me, go get your parrots.
Okay, I think that was a pretty successful call, but he really made it clear to me that he wants that terraforming done like right now. So I'm gonna gather up all of the resources that we have and just start placing blocks to get that done. And honestly, I've never terraformed in my entire life, so this is gonna be a completely new thing for me. So, I mean, let's just get right into it. And I think this side looks decent, maybe? I don't know, it's kind of just there, it doesn't really make a big difference. I think it looks better than the other side, but still not great. And we still have the waterfall, which I think looks pretty cool. But we are still not done with the terraforming, because if we come around the back, as you can see, yeah, we still got a lot more work to do. So I finished all of the terraforming by adding this area, and this area. So now the exterior of the base is 100% complete. I think it looks really cool. But now what that means is that we have to start working on the inside now. And especially the challenge of adding the Parrot room. And I'm going to start by doing this upper half first, and then eventually move down to the bottom half. And for this, we have a ton of resources we need to collect, and a lot of them are actually in the nether. With the first one being 10 stacks of basalt. Alright, that should be good. Now it's time to get some blackstone. Okay, I think this will be enough. And next up, we're gonna need a lot of this blue nether wood. I haven't used this farm since last episode, and I kind of forgot how it worked. And we have no bone meal anyway. Great. Alright, let's see if this works. Turn the lever on, and maybe just hold this here. Yeah, I think it's working. Alright, this should be plenty. Hopefully. I hope. I don't know. Now, we actually have to go back to the nether again. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But this time, I actually have to find one of those, like, red nether biomes, if you know what I'm talking about. Yes, one of these places. Oh my god, it actually looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. And we're gonna need about 3 stacks of this, like, red stuff. And the last block I need is glazed terracotta. And I think I just used terracotta and put it in the furnace, maybe? Perfect. Let's go. Now, I got most of the blocks I'm gonna need for this inside area for the top part. So, let's just get to it. And while I was building the interior, it brought me into the 6th day, and we still have a lot of work to do. Okay, this place looks really nice. I think Grian did an amazing job designing this, and I think it looks really good, and it feels really cool to be literally just walking around here just like how Grian did. But as you can see here, there's still a little bit of things you have to add, and the main masterpiece of the whole room. And for both of these things, we're gonna need half a stack of diamond blocks. And luckily, over the past few episodes, I have a bit of diamonds saved up. Yeah, I got a lot. It ate up a bit of our diamonds, but I think it's fine, honestly. And I'm also gonna need a netherite block. Yes, you heard that right, an entire block of netherite, and currently I have 2 scraps. So I guess let's just head to the mines. At this point, I was getting a little worried about finishing on time, since we still had to make a dancing parrot room, and there was still another challenge that I didn't even know about yet. And knowing this didn't help when this happened. Dang it, bro. I did not mean for that to happen. This was probably my lowest point in the entire video, and I really didn't want to get my whole hardcore world blown up. And this is the final piece of ancient debris. Thank God that took forever. And that's 9... Oh shoot, netherite ingots. Now we'll make that into a block of netherite, which is going to go right in the middle of our fireplace. Going right there. Oh my gosh, that looks kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. And for this one, I wish they made diamond block slabs because I'm only gonna end up seeing half of the diamond block anyways. But I think overall that looks pretty sick. But you may be wondering, what are these last 30 diamond blocks for? And that is the massive chandelier that's going to be going in the middle. And I mean, wow, look at this, bro. Grian did such a great job designing the chandelier. It looks amazing. And I would say it was definitely worth the half a stack of diamond blocks that it took. And now that this room is mostly done, there's still a little bit of areas that we have a lot of open area with. And if you remember, we actually have a challenge that we have to do with parrots. And I honestly think these little window areas will be perfect. And we can actually have 2 of them, which I think is some really good extra credit. I think illusions will really eat that up. So first, I'm just gonna try and design a little area there so that we can actually put the room in. Alright, I think the design looks fine. It's not my proudest work, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But as I finished up these areas, it made me realize that they're kind of small, but we have this entire room with nothing going in it. So I figured we could just fill this whole room with parrots. But my next concern to work on this challenge is getting the actual parrots. And luckily we have some leads ready and hopefully some seeds maybe. Nope, we gotta collect them ourselves. And I'm pretty sure there's a jungle this way towards the raid farm maybe. Yes, here it is. Okay, we first have to find a parrot. I don't think I've seen a parrot yet in the series, so hopefully we can find one pretty easily. I'm not sure if they're hard to find or not. How do you find these things? I don't see them anywhere. Oh, here's one. Okay. Get it on a leash. Okay, we can't leash them. I was praying that would work. We found one. Ooh, there's another one. Let's go get that one. Now, do I just have to walk over with these guys? Yup. So I guess let's just hit the road. All right, perfect. All right, let's see if maybe they can breathe. Not sure how this is gonna work. If I hide, they're shy to do it in front of me. Okay, they're closer. Let's see if they take seeds now. Oh, I can make them sit now. Wait, they're... Oh, I forgot you could tame parrots. I didn't need to bring these guys all the way over, I don't think. I think they were just teleported to me. Okay, well, at least now we can go get more without having to go through all this hassle. And now we've collected, looks like a couple dozen parrots, and I think they look really cool. But that's not the entire task complete, because we have to make them dance. And to do that, we're gonna need some jukeboxes. And I don't actually know if I have any music discs, but I think we're gonna go out and have to get one the old-fashioned way. Let's hit him once, run away. No, not the zombie. Oh, now you're in another battle. Oh, it did it. There we go, we got one. Let's see if we can get another one. This is kind of fun. Oh, there we go. We had another one. Oh, we got the creepy one. Okay, now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I just slap this in the middle and maybe they'll make him dance. All right, let's try it. Oh, they're dancing. Oh. They're vibing. They're actually vibing. Look at these dudes. I think this is a success, so let's hop on a call with Illusions and see what he thinks. Illusions, I've done it. I've got parrots, see? I had to transport them all the way here.
Okay, but why aren't they dancing?
Well, I actually didn't have a music disc, so I had to go out and get one of them.
Okay, I could not care less how you got it. Just show me them dance.
Okay, let's get this party started.
Okay, fine.
Okay, I'll take that. What's the next challenge?
You need to completely fix your world's shulker monster and put it into one location.
Okay, this is the first challenge that's actually useful. Thank you, bro.
Okay, run along and fix the monster.
Yeah, I think Illusions was right. We do need to fix the chest monster. I mean, just like, look at this. Not to mention, this room is a complete mess. I mean, there's just so many shulker boxes like these, just like spread out in random places, and we need to fix these up as soon as possible. But I think this will fall in perfectly because I am going to be doing the lower part of the interior, and inside the interior is actually a massive storage system that Grian built in his design. And to start the interior, we actually have most of the blocks that we're going to need. They're all right here waiting for us. So I'm just going to start placing some of the blocks that I already have on the walls and some of the areas that they need to be placed on. Alright, so let's expand this stone area and finish all of the walls in this area. And while I was building it, this brought us into our 7th and final day, and we really need to pick up the pace. Now just leaving the floor and the storage system. But before we get to that, there's a little hallway right here, as you can see, with a little opening. Wow. And here we're actually going to be placing a nether portal, which will be really nice because it will connect to all the rest of them. All right, hopefully it makes a new portal. Yes, all right, perfect. But now let's start working on this area. And I think a good idea is to actually extend this carpet and bring it all the way through. So I'm gonna completely redo this floor. I think this floor plan actually looks pretty nice, and I think it fits in really well. But now we're gonna have to complete the final task, which is adding all of the storage in and fixing the chest monster. So I guess let's start by just placing in all of the chests. And I have some wood, but I'm not sure how far that's gonna make it for us. Yeah, we didn't even get halfway. But luckily, we have a ton of these left over. Oh my gosh, I forgot about these. And we have to hurry up because time is ticking. Alright, I think this looks pretty nice. And now let's move all of our items over to the new storage. Oh, I'm kind of excited for this. And this is what all of my items look like in shulker boxes. I can't tell if this is a lot. I have a decent amount of stuff in here, but I mean, like, after playing this world for however long I've been playing, I don't think it's that much. But now we're going to start packing this into these chests. And even though everything is put away, before we call king, there's one more thing we have to do. And that is this little piece right here. And even though it doesn't look like much, it's actually very important. To start, we need to add the outline. And then right here, we need to add 6 different concretes. And what these pieces of concrete stood for is actually very interesting, because another member of the server, Mumbo Jumbo, opened up his own little game mode on the Hermitcraft server. And basically, it would slowly go down over time, and when you push the button, you would receive whatever rank it's on when it was going down. So if it was pressed during the blue area, then you would receive the blue rank. And you would want the rank that is closest to the very end. And once someone presses it, it resets completely. And Grian made it his goal to receive one of every rank on the button. And every time he received one, he would place the concrete right here, and that would represent that he got all of them. And with great power comes great responsibility, and I think after building this, I think we've definitely earned it. But to make sure, let's check in with Illusions and see if he approves. Okay, Illusions, it's the final day to complete the challenge, and I think I was able to do it, as long as you approve.
Alright, show me around.
So outside, you can see it's completely finished with terrain that you wanted. Then, if we go inside, here's the top part of the interior. This is where all the parrots were that I showed you earlier. And then if you go to the lower part, you can see it's completely furnished down to every detail. And this is where I completed the final task of fixing the storage monster. It is now tamed and under control inside of Grian's base. So, what do you think?
Not bad, kid. Not bad at all. You know what? I'm impressed, and I don't get impressed easy.
Oh, I know.
Matter of fact, I'm so impressed that I'm gonna be sending you on a vacation.
A vacation? To where? He always does this. Watch another video. Go on. You know you want to do it.
I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through.